I finished up varnishing both the pieces of the clock. This is the top piece that I did on the painting tree so that I didn't get any fingerprints on it, and I've got a nice, smooth, consistent application of varnish right across the top here. There's one finishing stage to complete, and that's adding wax. That's putting a wax coat on it, so we'll show you how to do that now. You can see the base part that I made before, the part that I just had varnished sitting on a couple of blocks of wood. Well, earlier I applied wax to it, and what it's done is it's flattened down the surfaces even further, and it's just left it glossy and shiny. And it maybe, if you've got anything stuck in the varnish, any fibres, dust, hair, it's removed those, and it's just improved the varnish surface a little bit more than if we just left it. It also adds a further layer of protection, makes it waterproof, makes it resistant to grease and dirt and fingerprints and that kind of thing. So I'll get the one off the painting tree that I haven't waxed yet and show you how that's done. Waxing's done using steel wool, that's this stuff here, so it's fibres of steel wound up into almost like a kind of cotton wool, but it's actually steel wool, and we use this white wax. So the white wax is a chemical. It's derived from petroleum or crude oil, and what it actually does is it sets into a solid skin, but that skin is absolutely microscopic. It's so thin you could barely ever perceive it, but what it does leave is a sort of shine to your surface, and it also repels water. So I've got a tiny amount on my steel wool, and I'm just going to rub that slowly along the main edges. What I would caution people against, be careful to avoid, is you don't rub it down into the holes, because you end up getting big clots, big chunks of the stuff, and it looks ugly. You also get the fibres of the steel wool going down into the gaps and get down into the holes, and it can spoil it a little. So mainly apply it on the big, long, wide surfaces. Let's get a tiny bit more out of my pot, and I'm going to do this long top surface. So this surface is very important to us because it is the top of the clock. It's one that I want to be as high quality as possible. I'm spending a bit of time rubbing this stuff in, and what the steel wool is doing the whole time is it's abrasive. It's rubbing off any dirt, any fibres or dust that was stuck in the varnish. It's sort of pulling them off and smoothing it down a tiny bit more. So I'm running along the big long edges. You can spend a bit of time on the short edges there. Won't take you very long. I mean, that is about it. Okay, I'm going to spend a little bit longer on here, just being careful. Possibly if you are doing this surface where you do have the hole, you do have the gap, you wait until most of the wax is now finished being applied. So there's not very much left on the steel wool, and now I can rub the steel wool in this without really worrying about big lumps of wax getting caught in the holes or the slot. Okay, when we've done that, what we would do is just use a polishing cloth. So it's an old rag, it's a dry rag, it's one that's not got any wax on it. You might find in the box with the polishing equipment there's blue rags. The blue rags are ones that will actually have lots of wax in it, so don't use them because you're just going to end up making it quite dull and smudged. So it's just a matter of working it quite hard. You can hold it in your two hands and rub it long ways, and you'll get a shine appearing. And the main surface we want to concentrate on is this one, this top surface. I'll leave that to last. When I'm doing this, I can feel a bit of heat being generated. That's good, so it's definitely rubbing that surface with friction, polishing, and we can now see if we can reflect some light into the camera. You can see that it's really glossy, even more glossy than if we just left it with varnish on its own. Let's try this side. Yep, so we've got light reflecting over it. So these two pieces, that's going to be my base. This piece is going to sit upright above it, and you're going to be able to see the highest quality of shine on this because I've waxed it as well as varnished it, and even at the beginning the surface sealing, all of that's led to a nice shiny smooth surface.